of this committee, I'm concerned by the trends, but also concerned by the elections specifically. As we know, in early February, the elections were held after a nearly 3-month delay that raised serious concerns about the democratic process in Pakistan. I also know that the State Department joined other international election observers in expressing concern that the election included undue restrictions on freedoms of expression, association, and assembly. So, I want to reiterate my personal concern. The incoming that I've received has really been illuminating and suggested that there's more that we can do. I could share the chair's urging in his recent remarks that our country uses its levers to ensure that democracy is upheld. That's also why I'm proud to co-sponsor House Resolution 901. This resolution reaffirms the House of Representatives' strong support for democracy in Pakistan and urges the government of Pakistan to uphold democracy and protect fundamental rights. But as we look more broadly at human rights in Pakistan, the State Department, your agency's most recent human rights report, highlighted significant human rights challenges in Pakistan, including restrictions on freedom of expression and freedom of the press. Credible threats of violence, harassment, abductions, and killings by security forces, political parties, and other groups have led citizens and journalists to self-censor their speech for their own safety. The State Department found that the Pakistani government's failure to investigate and prosecute attacks on free speech and the press have effectively led to restrictions on free speech and the press in a very dramatic way. Really what I want to hear is how can and how will the United States work with the Pakistani government to support meaningful change to promote freedom of speech and freedom of the press?
Sir, I have the pleasure and responsibility of reading the Pakistani media on a daily basis. And I will confirm what is in our human rights report is there is both self-censorship and occasionally active censorship in Pakistan today. At the same time, what I read in the Pakistani press is a cacophony of voices. There is actually competition in the media with respect to things that are said and not said, as well as in social media. And so one of the most damaging things that we see today are restrictions on social media because, like the rest of the world, Pakistanis are getting a lot of their news and information through the internet. And so when the internet gets pulled down or X gets throttled as it has been now for several weeks, it denies the Pakistani people from getting the kind of diversity of reporting information that they deserve. We are talking to the Pakistani government at the highest level about these issues. We're also working year after year in the trenches with Pakistani civil society to help to train journalists about fact-checking, about responsible sourcing of their information, about journalistic standards. And what I can also see is while there is censorship, both self and active, we can also see the development of some truly excellent journalism coming out of Pakistan and some very brave journalists who defy these censors and still produce things that call into question the government or the military or the Americans or any number of other institutions of authority.
If I may,
sir,
what exactly have those conversations yielded?